Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. You might have noticed now that I'm touching my nose while I'm speaking to you. And you might have also noticed that sometimes while you are speaking to people or while you are listening to people, sometimes you see them touching their nose or striking their nose in a way or another while they are talking or while they are listening. This is one of the most common body language gestures, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood body language gestures. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what does this move mean, why it happens, and how you can use it to your advantage. This gesture, touching the nose in any possible way, like this or like that or any other way, it's called the negative evaluation gesture. And the person does it unconsciously, of course, just like any other body language move, when something negative happens. Let me give you an example in order to make this clear. Let's suppose that you are extremely thirsty and you went to the refrigerator hoping to find some kind of a refreshing drink. But as soon as you opened it, you did not find anything. Automatically, without realizing, you just touch your nose in any possible way simply because your mind believed that something negative has happened. Let me give you another example to make this clear. Let's suppose that you went to your boss and told them that you want a vacation. And as soon as you said so, your boss's answer was something like, you cannot take any vacations up until the end of the year. Again, automatically, you might find yourself doing this gesture without thinking and without noticing just because your mind believed that something negative has happened. You cannot get a vacation. Now, at this point, so many people tell me, hey, Farouk, please stop. I have never done this gesture before in my life, nor have seen people doing it. And here is the interesting part. Your brain is designed to ignore repetitive and unimportant patterns. In other words, if a piece of information is not relevant to you, your brain will simply discard it. Your brain receives information from tons of sources at the same time, and it makes a lot of sense that it discards the things that doesn't make much sense or doesn't carry much weight. But now that you knew about this gesture and its importance, you will realize that after this video, you immediately started noticing whenever somebody does something like that while you are talking to them. So, in other words, this piece of information was not significant to you before, and this is why it was discarded by your brain. Now, here is something even more interesting about this gesture. Let's suppose that you told somebody that Sarah is coming today. And as soon as you said something like that, that person touched their nose. This means that this person did not like the fact that Sarah is coming. Now you can see how handy this piece of information or this body language gesture can come in communication between people because it can help you realize sometimes what's happening in a person's mind. You might also have read online that this gesture can be used for lying detection, but that's partially correct. That's not a 100% correct information. Yes, this gesture can be used in lying detection, but it does not mean that the person who touches their nose while speaking are liars, because this is exactly what you might find on so many websites on the internet. This is a misconception. This is a very common misconception. This gesture simply means that the person have seen something negative happening. And if the person lied while telling the lie, they felt super guilty. They felt really guilty for what they have done because they have, let's say, a very strong sense of what's right and what's wrong. Then there is a significant possibility that this person will touch their nose while they are lying or after they lie or while telling the lie. In other words, if the person feels really guilty for lying, then yes, the subconscious mind might force them to do this gesture because they believe that they have done something truly negative. But what about somebody who believes that they are smart because they lie to you and you believe them? Of course, this type of person will never do this gesture while lying to you. One final, extremely very important tip about this gesture. You have to pay attention to the fact that the human mind receives so many pieces of information at the same time. In other words, I could be talking to you and suddenly I do this move, but it could have nothing at all to do with what you are saying. Simply, I could have remembered something that made me feel bad. Something that you said might have reminded me of something bad about myself that made me evaluate this as a negative situation. Or simply somebody might have been passing behind you while I'm looking at you, and so I did some kind of negative evaluation because I didn't like that. In other words, there are so many possibilities for this gesture, and so do not think in a linear way because psychology cannot be handled in such a way. You cannot see a person doing this while talking to you and then say, oh my God, the person hates me or the person is lying to me. No. You have to understand exactly the context and make sure to isolate the other factors. Like, for example, do not speak super fast and tell 10 things at the same time, and then you find the person doing this, and then you would be left confused. Which one of the things you said made the person do the negative thing? And even what you said could have not been the reason, because the person could have simply remembered something that made them feel bad. In other words, use this gesture with caution. It's definitely very highly accurate. It definitely means that something negative has happened, but you have to be cautious to know exactly why it happens and why sometimes it might not be related to you at all. That was all for today's body language gesture, the negative evaluation gesture. For more interesting videos, for more shocking psychological facts, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I'll be posting more frequently than this. And yes, I'm waiting for you and for your comments and your feedback. Thank you so much. Until the next video, take care of yourselves.